going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Thursday. Welcome back to the channel. What an exciting day we had yesterday. Having a look at what's going on today. Now, you are noticing some of the altcoins experiencing a little bit of minor red today, but Bitcoin is up almost 4%, Ethereum up 4%. So we had a very good day yesterday. In fact, you can see right here, we were sitting around this $8,160 level, and we popped all the way up to almost, it was about 8,700 on futures. And currently we've sort of been putting in, well, you might be thinking this is looking like a little bit of a Bart Simpson pattern. So are we looking for that massive drop off, or will we actually be able to break above the 200 daily moving average? Because that is the big basically level that we're looking at, okay? So we're going to talk about that moving forward, whether or not we'll be able to do that. Also, today's video is going to be a little bit quick. I do have to get on a plane because I'm headed to the Bitcoiner Bash tonight. If you're in Cleveland, Ohio, starts at 7 o'clock. It is at the Magnolia, so stop by. It'll be fun, and yeah, so that'll be cool. But that's not what we're here for today. I do want to talk about that. Also, yes, the ETF decision got denied, and the IRS has actually come out with some pretty interesting tax guidelines for U.S. citizens, which I'm going to be quite honest, don't really make a lot of sense. But first and foremost, we are here for Bitcoin, and if that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, well, we do this every single day, so you definitely don't want to miss out. And as usual, every Monday, we do give away the Ledger Nano S hardware wallet. All you have to do is drop a comment on literally any video throughout the course of the week. Now, let me give this a quick refresh live because I noticed that Bitcoin dominance had fallen to about 66.6. Now it's at 66.9. So once Bitcoin started running, you saw a lot of the altcoins and even a little bit of Tether kind of go into Bitcoin to try to catch those gains, right? Now, we did have some altcoins doing quite well yesterday. Ren, Factom, Maker, Synthetics, Network, Ethereum, Classic, Raven. You could see that there were some altcoins that have maintained those gains. We did finally see a decent amount of volume. Okay, we have about 500 million real, almost a billion over here on Tether. So that was nice to see. You know, having a look at Coin Farm over here, still relatively neutral, but I do want to point out that the markets are looking a little bit short-term bullish, okay? We do have the longs at 53.66% compared to 46.3% on the shorts. So here is what happened. We had this beautiful blast off, okay? We had one leg up, a little bit of a sideways, and another leg up. Now, what I love about this is look at this volume that we got right here. That is what I want to see. I want to see that volume. I want to see that confirmation. So that was very good to see for this move.
It's about damn time. It's about damn time.
But currently we are looking a little bit limp right here. So what is the situation? Well, the situation essentially is we're being held down by this 200 daily moving average. I mean, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I jokingly basically posted this, 200 daily moving average, Bitcoin bears right now, right? Because, well, look at it. I mean, we literally wicked above it and sat below it, and look at this. We closed. I mean, it's crazy. So this is the key level to get above. What is it sitting at officially today? $8,667. So that is the level to keep your eyes on. If we get above this level and you're looking to potentially trade on Bybit or something like that, it could be a good opportunity to put in a long, not financial advice. If you guys are interested in how to use Bybit, I do have a video popping up above, and I do also have links below. You guys know that. But having a look right here, essentially, we had a little bit of a downwards wedge. We got above it, and we're sort of looking at this new support around this $8,400 level. Hopefully, it'll hold. You can see we touched it this morning and instantly got rebounded right off of it, okay? But the thing I want to point out is not just the 200 daily moving average being such a critical level. You can see we did wick above it a few times, but if you could see above my head right here, and I know it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, let me see if I can sort of zoom out a bit and see if we could just look at this VPVR right here. So do you see right here how there's sort of this emptiness, okay, right? Like sort of when we get above this sort of $8,600 level, essentially right where the 200 daily moving average, you see how we lose all that of VPVR? Well, that's basically telling me that there's not, because all we did was fall right there. So there's really not many levels really in between us and that point. So the next thing that would really cause that resistance would essentially be this downwards channel or this downward slope that we had from the top of the descending triangle. Now, two things I want to point out. Number one, yesterday, we had $11.9 million worth of USDT that was transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. So some people were getting very bullish on this. Well, what would a whale be doing with all of this USDT? Well, most likely we're going to buy some Bitcoin, right? But then on the flip side, just this morning when I woke up, you have 1,200 Bitcoin, roughly 10.2 million, transferred to an unknown wallet. So now people are saying, are they going to sell? So you could see that the markets are very confused right now, very mixed, and all eyes are on this 200 daily moving average. We are out of the blue zone though, so that's good. That's pretty good. Short term, you could see actually, zooming out, looking at this on a macro, I know we can get really caught up in the day-to-day because it's really fun to make those longs and shorts on the daily, but overall, I still think on a macro trend, this looks very good. We're still holding above the blue line, which is the 100 weekly moving average. You can see we've provided some amazing support at around this $7,616 level, and like I said, this sort of downwards resistance right here is really going to be the next key level. Also, keep in mind, we are coming back up to this 21 exponential on the weekly, which is around $9,000. So short term, we need to get above the 200 daily. If we get above the $9,000 exponential level, 21 exponential, that would be very bullish. And of course, if we can break out of this, purple downwards trend, I mean, I'm talking like major blast off moves. So keep your eyes on that, guys. This is just another chart I was actually putting together, and you can see we're basically forming this giant. Some people are saying, are we still in the bear? I don't think so currently. I mean, we're being respected by some of these key supports. So currently I'm not a bear yet, guys. I'm still a Bitcoin bull long term. I mean, short term could get a little bit rough, of course, but I do want to give a shout out to Crypto Hamster for pointing out this fractal. Now, a lot of other analysts have pointed this out. So it's not me. It's not a lot of people are looking at these charts. But let's talk about it, because the thing is basically if you overlap the dump that we had just recently on top of the bottom that we had after November 19th, it's actually playing out quite similar. Granted, we did have a bit of an Adam and Eve bottom, you can see back here, but essentially I want to just show you the similarities, and maybe this will help us to understand where we could be heading potentially short term, right? So this is the drop that we had at the end of 2018 in November. Boom, 50%. Man, if you were around for that, was not a pretty day, unless you were able to short it, but I don't think many people had that opportunity. I really thought they thought it was the bottom, but anyway, having a look, you could see right here, essentially we started to put in this trend. Now there was this little bear trap that we had right here, right? And this was the resistance to get above, and as soon as we did, we skyrocketed, right? So let's compare these two charts. Well, essentially we came down here, we started putting in this upwards trend, we started coming down, we got wedged in the middle, and we bounced. Not to mention we did have the bear trap. Look, we had the bear trap here, and we had the bear trap here. Now currently, we are sitting up here sort of in no man's land. So what is the situation? Well, if we go back to our previous, we noticed that it's a little bit different of a time frame because it took a lot longer for us to get to this point in 2018. That's why this is the daily, whereas over here we're looking at the 4-hour. But you can see essentially we had some difficulty once we hit this downwards resistance. And just to show you what this is, in case you don't know where I'm getting that from, that was basically from this right here, right? And that's the same thing that we're essentially seeing right here. We're having this down. Well, actually, it's a little bit higher. I probably should move it up a bit to here. But it doesn't really matter where you put it. The point is, eventually, we are going to hit that resistance, and that is the level to look at. So are we going to have a little bit, see right here where we, hold on, guys, just got to get my chart straight. You see right here where we hit that resistance and we instantly came back down, but we were supported by that uptrend. So if we do have something similar like that, I would be looking for this blue line essentially to hold us, okay? So I'm just saying if we do happen to fall, not saying we're going to, I mean, we need to keep our eyes on that 200 daily moving average, but I think we will probably get supported by this blue line short term. I don't see why we wouldn't, but that is the situation. I do want to talk about Nebraska Gooner only because now he's been talking about this for quite some time. This is a huge thread, and essentially he's talking about Bitcoin hitting what he refers to as the golden pocket. That's not really what he refers to. It is called the golden pocket. But you see, he says, notice the rejection at the 0.382 fib almost exactly 3 years ago. We've now retraced into the golden pocket. If Bitcoin continues to follow the path, that would put it at about $19,000, okay? Essentially just before the halving. So yeah, Bitcoin has not tended to see a new all-time high before the halving event. So people that are saying that we're going to see a $20,000 Bitcoin this year, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying we've never seen a new all-time high before the halving. So we could really be putting in a long-term accumulation up to that 20K level straight up to May of next year, which Might seem boring to some of you, but for those of you that are looking to accumulate Bitcoin, this could be an absolute golden opportunity. In fact, you can see we leveled out right here on the super trend and we touched it 1, 2, and 3 times. So this is definitely signaling to me that we are, the bulls are fighting. The bulls are fighting right now and they want the price to get pushed up, but the bears are also on the other end pushing us down. But I do want to talk about some good news super quick. The Bakkt volume essentially was a new all-time high. We did 224 contracts, which is good, right? Yeah, let's see where we're at today. So currently today we are at 25. Now let me give this a refresh. 59, okay. So, not bad, but, kind of to put this in perspective, so you have 224 contracts, which is 224 Bitcoin. Well, having a look at essentially what the CME is doing just in the 2 days leading up, basically the 2 days leading up to today, you saw the contracts doubled from 2,500 to 5,200. Also, just to put that into perspective, one CME Bitcoin futures contract represents 5 Bitcoins instead of 1 with Bakkt. So, whereas Bakkt is trading, today 60, you pretty much have the CME trading around 25,000. So that's a heck of a difference. So you can still see that cash settled, unfortunately, is the choice. But let's talk about this IRS tax guidance that has been put out by the US. Absolutely ridiculous. Essentially, basically, you're responsible for all airdrops, all forks, okay? You have to, claim those, etc. But the reality is a lot of us don't even get these airdrops, okay? For example, all those Bitcoin forks that were happening back in the day, not everyone has their private keys. Some people keep it on Coinbase. Some people don't even know how to access it, right? I think this is ridiculous. Actually, you know what? Instead of having me talk about it, why don't we just see what the community is saying? Because these are some of the tweets I'm reading. The concerns that this could allow anyone to create a massive tax liability for other people by simply forking or airdropping a coin are totally valid. That is not good. Jameson Lopp saying, what if you have keys but no software from which to spend the asset? What if you never sell or transfer the asset and it drops 90% in value? What's the value if the asset isn't even trading at the time of the fork, right? You have Bruce Fenton making a joke about it. He goes, in honor of the IRS fork guidance, I'm announcing BBV. Bitcoin Bruce's Vision. It's a Bitcoin fork that gives me an extra 1 million coins. I'll sell 1 sat to you for 300. Also, I'm sending a 12-word seed phrase poem to each member of Congress right before the fork. And we even had Stephen Pally, who is a lawyer, straight up saying, doesn't make sense in the current form. And obviously, if you scour the Reddits and look around, you can see a lot of people are like, if I don't actively consent to this, okay, the labor of this fork was not consensual expectation of value that was transferred to me. I never asked for it. I never expected it. And now the IRS wants this to be considered a taxable event. We didn't ask for it. We didn't pay for it. There's no implied contract or anything of the nature. So why do we need to pay for these forks? So let me know what you guys think about it. I really wish that the IRS would just simply do basically what France is doing, okay? When you cash your crypto to fiat, great, we'll tax it. Or if you use your crypto for a purchase, say I go to the store and I use it, okay, I don't know who's accepting Bitcoin, but whoever is, okay, yeah, then I'll pay the typical tax, the value-added tax. But any other circumstance, why? If I have a valuable painting that's hanging on my wall right now, and some guy on eBay is willing to buy it for $5,000, and I bought it for $1,000, okay, so that's a $4,000 increase, but the painting is hanging on my wall. I'm not doing anything with it, right? So why should I? You understand what I'm trying to say? So, okay, kind of a little bit different, but let me know what you guys think. And yes, the ETF got rejected. Does anybody even care at this point? I don't think so. So that being said, I want to end on one thing real quick and just remind you how early we are to this space. And, having a look at the Gartner hype cycle right here, which you can see, they did include blockchain. Now, they have updated this cycle, but I actually chose 2017 specifically for the simple reason that you could notice that we did have a lot of hype, right? 2017 was insane. You just saw people throwing money at ICOs left and right. But you do have to realize that essentially you have the innovation trigger, okay? The peak of inflated expectations, which I would say would be the top of 2017 bull run, right? It was, late December, early January. Then you go to the trough of delusionment, right? A trough of delusionment, sorry. And you start coming down here, right? Well, we're currently entering down into this. I do believe that we're starting to get more realistic. We're starting to actually ask ourselves, wait, hold on. Let's not put the carriage ahead of the horse. What can we actually do with this damn tech? Realistically, right? And we know that currently the killer app is money, although recently we have been moving into more of the DeFi, decentralized finance aspects of things. Keep your eyes on it, guys. this space is still relatively new. And as you can see right here, you know, they had given it a blue circle, which essentially said that it has another 5 to 10 years before it plateaus, right? So we have a good amount of time. And, you know, talking about the Lindy effect, let's be real. If something is here for 10 years, well, there's a good chance it'll be here for 10 more. And on that note, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to catch a plane. So thank you so much. I do hope you found some value out of this. Like I said, guys, the bears are fighting hardcore right now. They are definitely trying to keep us below this 200 daily moving average. But yeah, if we can get above it, that would be incredible. And then we do have the 21 exponential around that $9,100 level. So it could be explosive. And, you know, I've seen calls of, 16,000 potentially by the end of this year, like the anonymous 4chan prediction said, right? So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I know today's video was a little bit quicker than usual. Tomorrow's video is probably going to be from the box of shame because I will be, you know, over there. But then we're going to get back to the schedule on Saturday and, of course, back to give away the Ledger Nano S on Monday as usual. Thank you so much once again for coming back to my channel. Once again, if you guys haven't checked out my Bybit tutorial, definitely have a look at it, but be safe out there.